Yeah, Umar Johnson really came out saying black women are jealous of Claressa Shields over Papoose? That take already sounds wild. And honestly, you can see he's moving in the same lane as EJ Johnson and Claressa herself, completely out of touch with reality. We're about to break this down, but first, make sure you're tapped in, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything. Go ahead and like the video too, because we're not dragging this out, we're getting straight into it.
And speaking of relationships, how you feel about Papoose and Claressa Shields?
I like their relationship. Shout out to Pap, shout out to Claressa Shields. She's a beautiful woman. When she gets dressed up, she is a beautiful woman, man. That sister is beautiful. When she gets into her feminine, Claressa Shields is a very beautiful sister.
Right from the jump, it's hard to take anything Umar is saying seriously. Claressa and feminine don't even line up in the same sentence. If he's talking about makeup, wigs, and outfits, come on now, men are doing that too. That doesn't prove anything. Trends show people can copy the same looks, same styles, same everything. Throwing on makeup or wearing wigs inspired by other cultures doesn't suddenly make someone feminine. Claressa still carries herself aggressively, stomping around like a WWE fighter, loudly claiming she can beat up men. There's nothing soft or traditionally feminine about that energy at all.
So shout out to them both. I love the relationship. I'm glad that they're not letting public opinion, or at least it appears that they're not letting public opinion influence their relationship. So I really do appreciate that. I do think Pap could be a little bit more romantic with her in public. Just a little. I'm not saying they gotta be all lovey-dovey, kissy-kissy, but I think she wants him to be a little bit more hands-on with her in public. And I do think he should be. Sometimes he can seem just a little distant, just a little. Nothing, it's not enough to make nothing out of it. I don't want nobody to run with that. But I do think he needs to be a little bit more intimate with his queen in public. I think she needs that, and I think the world needs to see that as well.
You really think young girls and grown women should be looking up to and admiring an affair? That makes no sense at all. Claressa doesn't need public affection like that, but Papoose, he needs to handle his situation properly and get a divorce first. Running around publicly with someone else while still married is messy, plain and simple. And calling a mistress a queen? That's wild talk. A mistress is not a queen. Let's be real and stop dressing it up. That title actually means something, and throwing it around like that just makes the whole situation look even more questionable. Now, Umar did say Papoose seems distant with Claressa in public, and honestly, that part is true. You can see it clear as day. Clip after clip shows the same energy. He looks uncomfortable, like he'd rather be somewhere else, or like he's stuck in an awkward moment he didn't sign up for. But then Umar flips it and starts suggesting a married man should be out here showing loud public affection to a mistress? That's backwards thinking. Nobody should be taking relationship advice from Hollywood in the first place. What you see on the surface is rarely the full story, and it shows every single time.
But I like what they got going on. I like how they don't let the public influence what they're doing. I mean, she seems happy with him, he seems happy with her, and they're very humble about it, man. I love that situation, man. I love all the young couples, man. Like, if I had to pick my favorite young couple, that'd be hard, bro. Because I love Pap and Claressa. You know, I love Nelly and Ashanti. I love ASAP and Rihanna. Like, I'm in love with all these young couples, man. You know, I just love them all to see them together, committed at such a young age. Ryan Coogler and his wife, LeBron and his wife. Like, I'm loving the black love, man. I really am loving the black love. You know, I wish they could all come together and just do a conference. That'd be powerful, like a get married conference featuring all the married celebrities, man. That'd be crazy.
And then he's talking about young couples like this is some fresh love story. That doesn't even line up. Papoose is 48 years old, and Claressa, despite how she comes off sometimes, she's a grown adult at 31. This isn't some teenage romance, no matter how people try to spin it. He even brought up Nelly and Ashanti, like that helps his point. Nelly is 51, Ashanti is 45. Every couple he named is either pushing 40 or already way past it. That's not young couples at all. Young is 21, 25, maybe late 20s like 28 or 29, not 38, 45, or 50. That whole comparison already falls apart. But here's where it really gets messy. Umar claims black women are jealous of the attention Papoose is giving Claressa. Wait, what? Didn't he just say Papoose acts distant with her in public? So which one is it? You can't have it both ways. Either he's distant and barely showing attention, or he's doing so much that people are jealous. That contradiction is loud. And let's be honest, does she even look happy and at peace? Because it doesn't come off that way at all. She's constantly online going off, arguing and looking for validation every other day. That doesn't scream confidence or stability. It looks like someone trying to prove a point.
But I support them, man. I really do.
Why do you think she gets so much hate, though? I mean, at this point, man, the hate is out of hand, yo.
I think, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think black women are jealous of the attention Papoose gives her. But I think she wants him to be a little bit more hands-on with her in public, and I do think he should be. Sometimes he can seem just a little distant. I think black women are jealous of the attention Papoose gives her. She is happy and at peace.
Attentive, though? Where? There are plenty of clips showing the exact opposite. Moments where she's clearly trying to get his attention and he's just not matching that energy. You even see situations where basic care and awareness seem off, like her walking on the outside of the street while he's right there. People notice those little things. They say a lot without saying a word. And in this situation, it doesn't look like she's being treated like a priority at all. She comes off very masculine, and Papoose is moving in a softer, almost reversed role. That dynamic is obvious. A wig, makeup, or outfits aren't going to change what people are clearly seeing play out every day. The energy between them just doesn't match what's being pushed online, and it keeps getting more noticeable. And Papoose? He's starting to look more and more out of place in this situation, like he's fully stepped into a completely different image. Meanwhile, Claressa's behavior keeps raising eyebrows, and the more this plays out, the more confusing the whole situation looks. At this point, they're both feeding into the same chaotic narrative. So, again, jealous of what exactly? There's nothing here that people are wishing for. This is still a married man who has time for everything except finalizing a divorce. That alone says a lot. There's no prize in being tied to unresolved situations like that. And let's not ignore the bigger picture. He already has a complicated family history, and now there's more money, more exposure, and more confusion being added into the mix. You even see situations where people around him are benefiting while everything plays out publicly. At the same time, Claressa is out here making bold claims about him covering everything financially, but that doesn't line up with what people are seeing. It just doesn't add up. There's nothing appealing or admirable about this situation, and most people are not trying to trade places with that at all. This whole situation just comes off messy and low level, no matter how much money gets thrown at it. All the jewelry, designer labels, and flashy outfits don't change the energy. It still looks cheap and thrown together. You can dress it up all you want, but people can see right through it.
Are jealous of the attention Papoose gives her.
And let Omar keep talking, because there are way more reasons why nobody is sitting around feeling jealous of this situation, not even close. What's really being ignored are the black women who are actually in solid, committed relationships and marriages. The ones not chasing attention from married men because they already have stability at home. Nobody is trying to share a man who still has a whole wife and other complications attached. That's not a goal, that's a warning sign. Most of the women speaking out against this aren't just random voices either. A lot of them are in real relationships, or they simply have standards and boundaries. Married or not, women with strong values are not co-signing this situation at all. It's being called out because it's out of line, simple as that.
And although I said that the relationship could benefit publicly from him being a little bit more intimate, he is very much attentive to her.
And let's not rewrite history here. By her own words, she admitted she was the one reaching out first, sending messages, writing poems, and building communication with a married man. That didn't just happen overnight. That goes back years. She even slipped up before, mentioning conversations and interactions from as far back as 2020. So this didn't come out of nowhere. It was a pattern that built up over time, and now it's all playing out in public for everyone to see. She was the one constantly looking for validation, even going as far as asking his wife for advice, getting tips on hair, clothes, really trying to level up her image. And at the time, people were already side-eyeing how she carried herself, saying she still came off rough and unpolished despite all that guidance. And what makes it worse, the same people who were helping her ended up getting turned on.
And a lot of black women don't have men who are that attentive to them, and definitely not that attentive in public. Black women don't get a lot of that, and I think when black women look at her and look at how much attention she gets from Papoose, I think they envy that.
Situations like that always raise eyebrows. One minute she's asking for advice and support, the next minute there's tension, accusations, and public call-outs. That kind of switch-up doesn't go unnoticed. There were also moments where other women in her circle were offering guidance, simple things like style, presentation, even life advice. And instead of keeping that respect, things reportedly went left there too. It starts to form a pattern that's hard to ignore. At the same time, while all this was happening, there were claims that she was building a connection behind the scenes, gathering insight, learning personal details, and getting close, only for the situation to take a completely different turn later on. And now, instead of letting things cool down, she keeps jumping online, speaking on it non-stop, and keeping the spotlight on the situation. That constant back and forth isn't helping at all. It's actually keeping the drama alive. Every time she speaks on it, it pulls more attention, more reactions, and more criticism. At this point, it's not just the situation itself, it's how loudly it keeps being pushed into the public that's making everything spiral even more. So at the end of the day, she's bringing a lot of this mess onto herself. That's just what it looks like.
And they want to tear her down because of it. And a little bit of it is my sister Clarissa's fault, Art, because sometimes she lets it get to her. Sometimes she's responding when she shouldn't.
And that whole false narrative claim, that doesn't really hold up. People aren't just making things up out of nowhere. Most of the backlash is coming directly from things she's said and done publicly. When you're constantly speaking on situations, it opens the door for people to go back, compare, and question everything. And that's exactly what's happening. Every time she talks, there seem to be more inconsistencies popping up. One statement doesn't match the next, and people are catching on fast. It's not about random attacks, it's about patterns that are becoming harder to ignore. She's not really clearing anything up either. Instead, it comes off like one explanation just leads into another contradiction. And when receipts do get mentioned, they don't always land the way they're supposed to. In fact, sometimes they raise even more questions than answers. At the same time, her online presence has been very aggressive. A lot of bold claims, a lot of confrontational energy, and constant back and forth with others. That kind of approach naturally brings more attention and criticism.
Sometimes I'll be looking like Sister Claressa, Let them say what they want to say. Because I had to learn that, Art. It took me, I didn't learn how to stop responding to the public, to the struggle streamers until, I'm gonna say 2018. It's been the last 8-9 years, Art, that I have really disciplined myself to not respond to blatant slander and defamation of my character. You just have to learn how to separate it and to not take it personal. And I know Sister Claressa has her pride, but I just need her to know, Queen, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. Keep being great and keep doing you. Don't respond to them.
There have also been moments where she's made strong statements about relationships and competition, especially involving other women. And that energy, people are reading it as competitive and combative rather than confident. So when the word jealous gets thrown around, some are flipping that argument and saying the energy she's putting out feels more like rivalry than anything else. And that perception keeps growing the more this plays out in public. And on top of all that, she's even competing with men, openly saying she can beat this man and that one. That's the energy she's been pushing every day. At some point, it starts to sound like she really convinced herself of that. But let's be real, that kind of talk isn't helping her image at all. So no, Umar, this idea that people are jealous of Papoose and Claressa, that's just not landing. There's nothing about this situation that people are looking at and wishing they had. If anything, people can point out plenty of situations where her energy comes off competitive towards others. That's what's actually being noticed. And let's talk about reality for a second. There's all this talk about who's paying bills, but at the same time, it looks like there's a lot of financial pressure being juggled behind the scenes, trying to maintain a certain image, handle responsibilities, and keep everything afloat, and that adds up fast. That's why this whole situation feels more chaotic than anything else. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to see it.